Okay, so thanks guys for attending this Canvas Basics training. And I really just want to preface, the point of this is for you all to get just sort of a basic understanding of what kind of the main components that you most likely would use when setting up, your like faculty learning community. And then also sort of how to organize information. There's no one perfect way to do it. Modules is definitely, I think, the best way, but how you then organize them within modules is completely up to you. So what I would like to do, and then what I also can do is once we've kind of set up this class with some basic information in it, I can add you all to it so you can reference back to it to kind of see and play with as well. But let's go ahead and get started, and I'll try to keep the chat up as well. CO's in the house. Funny enough, I'm going to be using EDU 225. I don't know where I came up with that, but that's what we're going to use as what this classroom is. So first off, when just like in any classroom, your first page, or these are called pages, which is just sort of blank information, is what we call like your landing page. Now this can change. The great thing about this is our, am I sharing the right screen? Are you seeing Canvas? Manon's nodding. Yes. Thanks, Manon. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you. So right now, obviously we don't want our landing page to be called test homepage. We want it to say something warm and welcoming, like welcome to EDU 225. And these features should all work basically like any other classroom. So we want to add something, a cute little GIF that says welcome. We put in a little, like a block of information that says hello. I literally snagged this information right off ashford.edu just so I had something to put in there so we can kind of see what it looks like for our landing page. If we want to add a little video kind of explaining, maybe you want to do a course walkthrough, that might be helpful to your attendee or the group attendees on how to do where they should go. So if you have it set up so that you want people to go directly to modules, or you want where you want them to organize, having a short video right out front. This is not that video, but having them go out front so that
okay, she can't hear you.
Why is this not doing that? Okay. Anyway, I like to have it all centered, but then you can also, so let's say you have modules and discussions, and we're gonna go into what each of those are. The great thing about Canvas is that it's an actual hyperlink. So for example, if we want to be able to have folks hyperlink directly from our landing page into modules, we can just right click and open modules. We can grab that URL and we can add it. So anywhere you want them to go in your classroom, you can link it directly from one of those places. So discussion's another place that we want them to go.
Kate, does that break when you duplicate the class, those links?
If you took this entire classroom and duplicated it?
Right.
My thinking is that it wouldn't break, but it would take them to the other classroom. Like it's not going to,
okay.
It's not like an Excel doc, for example, like you can't add +20 to all of the, the
categories. Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Kate.
So, yes.
Sorry to interrupt. This is Amy. Because I lost you. Everything was frozen. Are you in announcements? Are you creating an announcement here?
This is the page. This is just the landing page.
Okay, so I'm sorry to have to ask you, but I missed this step. I see that you're on home, but how did you get to this?
Okay, let me go ahead and click save. It's the first, if you click on whatever so if you have your page open, for example, if you click on whatever your page is called, that's what I'm on. It's called a page, and it's your home page.
But you went over to the left screen and clicked on pages once you're in your room?
So what I did is
Sorry, guys.
No, that's fine.
No, I'm with you, Amy, too, because I feel like I'm not sure how we just kind of got into the edit mode and how, this
okay.
kind of started.
So let's back up. If you guys have, if you are logged in as a designer, if you're a designer in your classroom, you are already in edit mode. There's no turning on edit. Okay. So if you land here, you know what, let me do this. Let me put annotate on. That might be helpful. I want the glowy. Here is where we want to click, edit.
Okay, great. And your screen, for some reason, is super pixelated. I don't know why.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
Yeah, and I don't see edit. I'm in my little faculty lounge, and it's the home thing is highlighted. Am I using a new module?
That's better. You got it.
Do you see the page now? For those who are looking at the...
Much better. Thank you.
Okay, great. Amy, are you logged into...
I'm in my faculty lounge, and I picked one class in particular.
Okay.
And it automatically shows modules. It says the class and then modules at the top, where yours just says Kate's room. Mine says... Can you click on whatever yours is called? I do, and it keeps defaulting to modules.
It might have been, it might be hyperlinked that way. The page might have been changed to that. But I'm really sorry. I might be able to look at that offline with you.
Okay.
I'm not sure why that's happening.
So is what's on the screen, is that an announcement or is that a page?
That's a page. So like if you think about any of your regular classrooms, you will have the landing page, which it has like start here and a little bit of information about what the classroom is. This is just a page. So let me back up. So let's look at the menu here. There's a lot of information. There's kind of two things. These are pages. We're going to view all pages. I'm sorry, all of a sudden my computer is running really slowly. So this is a page that I created on the back end, and this is the front page. That's automatically there, but you can change it or edit it. Amy, if you click on pages, do you have anything that says front page?
No, what I did was I clicked on pages and it gave me the chance to add a page.
Okay, go ahead and add a page.
And now it looks like just when you make an announcement, it's got the boxes for a title and body of text or whatever. Perfect.
So what you can do is, remove, you can add a bunch of them. And mine's already published, but it doesn't need to be, but you can change that front page. So if you have a front page right now and you had some basic information on it, you could add a page, edit it kind of in the background, and then change it so that becomes the new page. If you're, kind of the Canvas environment allows you to do some editing in the back end within your Canvas course shell without having to have it published for everybody to see. But so let's go back to just our landing page. Other than the kind of issue that Amy had, does everybody kind of understand what the purpose of this first page is?
I do. Kate, I have a quick question for you. Is there, because I want to make sure I'm not doing some redundant training on my own, because I'm using the Canvas user guide and the Vimeo building tutorials they have. Is there anything that you're going to cover today that's AU specific, or is this all general Canvas?
This is a Canvas basics course.
General Canvas. All right.
Yes.
Don't take offense. I'm going to dip out
You're
and
totally, yeah,
take care
absolutely.
of some other stuff. All right. Take care.
Thanks. Okay. So let's talk about the venue. So obviously, if we're setting up we're not setting up a classroom, right? We're not, we don't have assignments and all that kind of stuff where we would need, Civitas and all of that. So at the bottom of your screen, if you have the bottom of your menu on the left-hand side here, and I don't know where my annotate went again. Let me draw. So there's settings down here. Let's go ahead and click on settings. There you go. Come on. And there's a couple of things here in the background that we can do. So you can choose an image for your card. So what is this the discussion? Yeah, let's get rid of these. So on the dashboard, you know how there's little cards that have the image on there of what your class is. You can put a photo up there. You can change the time zone if you see fit. They're already defaulted to Mountain Time. It's already going to default to the CETL instance. I would leave the term as default term just because then they're all housed in the same way. Leave the end date open unless you want your course to close. You do have the opportunity, if you would like, to make it visible at an institutional level or at a public level. And then it doesn't necessarily change it, but you can change it to online. The only thing is if you make adjustments to that, make sure you click update course details or you'll lose the work that you had been doing. The navigation, I think, is something that's going to be really helpful. We just want to have on the navigation things that you really think that people are going to use. So, for example, we don't need attendance. So there's one of two ways you can do it. You can just drag attendance down, or you can click disable and it will disable that from being up there. We're most likely not going to grade anybody in these environments, so we can take stuff like that out. We might not have chat. We could leave course recesses, or we could keep them in. I'm just going to try to clear some of this out. We don't need tutoring on demand. Don't really want them to look at pages. We're not going to do assignments. We might have some files. Definitely want modules. And maybe we'll just kick out portfolio and we'll leave the rest in. And again, just make sure that we click save at the bottom. Holly, this would be like, there's a couple of people who are on here who are interested in potentially making their space for students. And I know that in order for, you kind of have to do it more of one way. Clubs, thank you, Ben. So.
Got it.
Yeah, okay. So now when we look at our nav site, so as we know, anything in bold is actually what our students, so anybody who you're going to enroll who's not part of it is going to be a student, whether they're faculty or not. So this is a much more manageable list that our people who are attending can get to. There's also kind of some neat apps. To be honest with Canvas, there are, of the 100% of things that you can do in Canvas, I maybe know like 7% of it. There's literally just so much you can do. The one tool that I have used is called Redirect. And you can type in redirect and it will pop up. I just wanted to show you what the redirect allows you to do. You can embed an entire website as a link off of your navigation menu. So this is the faculty research space that we're currently building. And I was able to add the faculty creative scholarship blog into it. It's an entirely, the entire web page is on here. This is actually a blog, but it has a URL, and you can, if there's videos on that page or audio on that page, it can all play. And I'm sorry, I think my computer's running slow because I'm giving a demonstration. So if there's something specific about your learning community, or, you know, I don't know, maybe a resource or something like that that's updated a lot or is really, really helpful, and you want folks to connect with that, this is an option. But
Okay,
again,
would they be able to, is it Web 2.0 fully accessible, so they could, if they wanted to post a blog within this space, would they be able to do it?
so this is not, I don't own this.
Right.
So I am unsure if you could operate as the owner on this web.
Not the owner, but like if there were a place to post a comment, would a student or somebody in the participant in the class be able to post a comment directly in here, or would it link them out to that page and where they would post?
Let's see if it lets us. Yeah, it looks like you can.
Oh, great. Nice. Very nice.
Thanks, guys. I'm so learning along with you guys as we're doing this, but you can, I know that video, there's an audio track that Murad has in there, and I've played that, and it doesn't, you know, kick you out to the actual website. You're allowed to play in there. You're allowed to play it within. So that's just kind of a fun detail. There's a ton of stuff. I don't know what of these are, you know, we have to have a subscription to or any of that stuff. But I do have a link for how to do redirect. This is what I used to figure that one out. I'll throw that in the chat because it was really kind of straightforward. When adding an app like redirect, it defaults to force open in new tab. Do I select that or show in course now? Oh, so check out the link in that I just posted, Amy. It's been probably about a month or two since I did that, and I've only ever done it once in my life, so I don't remember. Okay, so let's go into discussions. So with discussions, we can create, for example, a discussion around all of the courses in your program. So up here, when we click on discussions, it gives you a little plus discussion, just means add discussion. If we click here, it will open up an opportunity for us to sort of fill in some information. So we're going to throw a title in there. And a lot of that, you know, if you're accustomed to using announcements, which I know a lot of you are, most of it's very, very similar. So once you kind of understand how to do announcements, you know how to put a title in, you know how to insert a picture, you know how to hyperlink a document. And so I'm gonna click here. Oops, that annotate thing is messing me up. I'm just gonna throw something in. Insert link. We're gonna allow it to thread and allow people to like it. And we don't have to put any dates on it. You can save and publish and then it's automatically available, or you can save and then choose when to publish later. So once we've done that, we have a discussion. So you could, in essence, create a discussion for each one of your each one of the program or each one of the courses within your program. I've been given permission by Dr. Michelle Rosser Majors to show you a little bit of her completed course. And what I want to show you are how she has assembled her discussions. So what I was talking about before, where you can create a discussion around each one of your, you can just, I meant to hit discussions, not modules. You can create a discussion around each one of your classes. That's exactly what she's done. So she has set them up. Slowly but surely we're getting there. So each one of the classes that's part of her program, she has down here within discussions, and you can see that people have been engaging in it. So we're just essentially letting our faculty, for example, have the opportunity to comment or suggest or question or ask for help around one of the classes that we're teaching. And then she also does a bunch of really kind of neat pinned discussions, but I don't want to go too far into the weeds because we're still in the basics. So that's how we set up a discussion. So if we go back to discussions, we will see that we have now added EDU 225 discussion. Come on, baby. All right, so it's right there. It's within our discussions. So another thing we had sort of touched on what pages are, that home page that we created. Does someone get notified when a discussion comment is posted, or do we need to be checking? Holly, just like in your regular classroom, you can set up notifications. Whatever your notifications are, that's what you'll get. So if you have it set up so that you get notified when anybody posts, then you will. Otherwise, you can do it immediately, end of the day or end of the week, kind of whatever makes the most sense for you.
Is it only me that would, for instance, or whoever owns the site that would get notified? Because I would like to spread out, like who gets notified, so that we're all, like my whole team is monitoring all of the discussions. Does that make sense?
Yep. So what we would do is have each of your team members put in as a teacher.
Okay.
There wouldn't be a way to like say, Holly, you only get discussions for EDU 225 unless we sort of really separated out that classroom, and you became like the teacher of a subgroup. It would just kind of get a little crazy, but absolutely your whole team can be part of it.
Thanks.
Yep. So let's say for EDU 225, we've got a discussion. Let's say we also want to create sort of an informational or a resource page for EDU 225, our imaginary class, unless there is an actual EDU 225. I don't know why that came in my head. So kind of the same thing once we get there. This one, it was kind of an extra step. You had to view all, but we go ahead and click, we're gonna add a page. So we're going to call this page EDU 225 resources. So we want to, in here, maybe you've, whether or not, it's a brand new class, or maybe it's a class that has been around for a long time, and maybe when the class was first created, there weren't a lot of resources for faculty. So maybe you want to talk to them about, kind of what I had written, how this course fits into your program, into the degree program, and what are maybe the major outcomes that you want your students to leave with when they leave the class, that you wanted them to have attained before they leave. Any other general information, or kind of, if you have something kind of quirky within. We'll slow down, didn't see you do that. Oh, so a YouTube. If you click on YouTube, and then I've just pulled random YouTube videos from our SEAL YouTube page. If you copy and paste it in and hit enter, it should bring up the list, as long as it's shared publicly. And then you can choose how to embed. So a small embed, a medium embed, or a large embed. Does that make sense? I'll take that as yes. Okay. And so maybe we also have some helpful articles. Maybe we've got some sample announcements for that class. So let's I just have a bunch of this. Okay. And if there's specific questions that folks have, I can, go through that with you one-on-one. I don't know why all of that became so large. But these are just some ideas of things that you can do as, resources for your faculty that are always probably going to be a little bit helpful. So image of the announcement, whatever. Can we add admin users or does that have to be done at a higher level? Yes, you just need to alert me who you want added in as a teacher and or a designer. They can be both, or they can be either. So whichever one. You have to have YouTube video already in mind, I'm guessing. Yeah, absolutely. You can, Amy, on the video, you can search by words too. You don't have to have the video already in mind. I just wanted to be conscious of time.
So this is Clifford. To clarify for a moment, when I have about 35, 40 faculty I'll need to add to this. Do I need to send you their names in order to add them, or is there a way to add them within this classroom? Yep,
you're going to add them. I'm going to get to people as our last piece once our classroom is ready to go.
All right, jumping the gun.
We're almost there. Okay, so we have a resource page for EDU, or could you have students be an admin or the other role? Ben, I don't know that they could be an admin, but there is an option within a setting called groups, again, a little bit more advanced than what we're talking about, where a student could be a leader of a group, but we can definitely talk about that offline. Okay, so that doesn't look amazing. But anyway, so here's our modules. So this is a way that we're going to organize the information. So we've now created a discussion forum around our course, and we've created a resource page around our course. So here's one module that I already had preset. It's Who's Who in the test program, because I didn't need my classroom. So within this, I've got a page that I create for program leadership. So this is program leadership here. I think I just had enough time to put myself. Did you publish them first, then create the modules? No, Amy, haven't published anything yet. So I want to make sure that we're good to go. So for example, if you and your core faculty want to have some information about yourself, right? We've got a little information for, you could have your whole CV if you wanted. Each person could have their own page depending on how you wanted to do that, and they could post their introduction. So we're going to create our module for EDU 225. So our EDU 225, that's what we're going to, we don't need any prerequisites for this. We're just going to add the module. And then we're going to come over here to the plus sign. And there's a bunch of different things that you can add under your modules. Right now, we only created two things. We created a discussion, and then we created a page with resources. So we're going to go to the discussion, and it already lists, because we've created it, that it's EDU 225. So we want to add EDU 225 to our module, and then we know we have that page of resources that we want. So we go to pages. We got EDU 225 resources. And maybe we want the resources before the discussion. Easy enough to move. Okay. So we're good to go. We've got a module created for our individual course of EDU 225. We want to go ahead and publish it. We like it. We've done editing. It's our favorite module in our entire classroom. So go ahead and click publish, publish, publish. We're done. But oh no, Amy Rogers emailed, the discussion has a huge grammar error. Ah! We just unpublished the discussion, and then we can go back into the discussion and we can edit it. But that's a great way to organize your information, is within these modules. That's what I noticed, right? So we can go back in and like, oh goodness, we totally forgot. So nothing's sort of like permanent anywhere. It's very forgiving. And again, if you're not publishing it, you can do a lot of messing with it. It's not going to notify anybody. There aren't going to be any notifications that these things are now available. So we can come back in and we can do some editing on how we want that. We want to change whatever that grammar error was. Okay. So that is modules. Do we have questions on how to put together modules, or how that grouping works, or the organizing? Any thoughts or questions on that? Okay. And please feel free to reach out to me offline. I know this is a lot of information in a very short period of time. So now we've got our page. We've got everything ready to go. we're going to say that we published all of the, let's go home. We published all of the little modules that we want, all of the information, all the discussion forums, all the pages. Maybe there's some like funny assignment that you created for everybody to do. And we're going to say, yep, we want to go ahead and publish this classroom. So from the home page, you have the option to publish the classroom. Okay. Again, same thing. Let's say you publish it and then your dean's like, oh my gosh, you can't publish that. The Department of Ed said no. And you're like, we can't have the information. Whatever. I don't know. I'm making everything up. You would just simply click on publish and then we'd be done. It's very, very forgiving. So now we've got all of our content added. We've got it organized under modules and we've got the classroom itself published. Now we just simply need to add people to it. So if you click on the people tab, and again, you can leave that people tab so that you can see it, but you can also have it so that you can see it, but not everybody else, but it's completely up to you. So I've added things in here because I was playing with this. So we're gonna add people. And generally, what options you have is you're going to have student and you're going to have observer. So maybe, for example, you wanted to have me in so that I can see what you're doing. Or you want to have your dean in or whomever. I don't know. Maybe whoever you want and you just want them to observe. You don't want them to participate. That would be the observer role. They can see, but they can't play, if that makes sense. Student is the other option. And so we're going to add Amy. And so Amy, when she goes to her dashboard in her staff account, so we added to Amy's staff account, she will see a notification that says that she has an invite pending. Okay. So we can add users again. And so we can add more people to our test room. But let's say we added Rebecca Hayes and we're like, we did not mean, we wanted a different Rebecca. We wanted Rebecca Campbell, not Rebecca Hayes. So we are going to, you can deactivate the user or you can just remove them from the course. But then you think to yourself, oh no, I really did. Nope, I got that wrong. That was the right user. So we can just add her right back in. Ashford.edu. We want to make her not a student this time. This time we just meant to make her an observer. And that's it. That's basically, that's the basics. That's kind of the basics on how to organize your information, how to add people, how to create a discussion, create a page. Questions?
Sure, I'll dive in. Quick one. Let's say we want to enable our instructors to share additional resources. So we have a resource page. We want them to be able to edit that. Aren't they going to need to be invited as teachers to do that? Or they won't be able to edit that page as a student, certainly. Or would they have to be admin in order to do that?
So you can have people, there are settings, and let me check here because I haven't done it in a little bit, but I am almost positive that in the discussions, or you can allow your students to, I know there's a way that you can allow people to add a discussion. But I don't know that that's necessarily indicative of being able to edit all areas of the classroom. So you would sort of have to do one or another, either have them as a student and then, they can create, they can upload information into a discussion forum, or I don't know if that's the best idea. You would have them all as teachers in the classroom.
Well, that's what I was thinking of doing, because the main problem with discussion is you then have to go through threads let's say you've got a 5-week course. You're looking for resources for week 3. I would want to have a page where the resources are well organized and kept tidy, but added to. So I would really need, so can I add them as teachers myself then?
No,
I have to contact
you need to.
I think I want to add all my faculty to have the capacity to be able to actually, change the page to add additional resources.
They could then delete your pages, just FYI, delete your discussions, change the name of the course. I mean, you have to, you have to be careful about like what levels that you want, and we can sort of brainstorm, other people might have some ideas.
Sounds like a good idea, yeah, to brainstorm that.
But you might have a page that you've created, Clifford, that has resources in it. And then anytime somebody offers one, you can pull it up, or you can add it to the top or something like that.
That's true. I could have them share them in discussion, but then I would then add them to the page.
Yeah, because you'll probably have like kind of like an onslaught at first, and then it would probably dwindle out a little bit. Is there a difference between a student and an observer? Yes. So the student can participate. The observer can only see. No participation. Can I create a hyperlink or embed the COE 101 course in your course? Like the course, like a course that you're teaching, Holly?
No, I mean a course that I would have for my program. So for the BACD program, as I have resources for faculty, I'd love to be able to say there are even more resources in the COE 101 course, which is its own Canvas shell that has a bunch of resources. Yeah,
so one of two things, you absolutely can create a hyperlink to it, depending on how it's published. So if you have COE 101 published at an institutional level, most likely they should be able to see it. Or if you have public, they should be able to see it. Otherwise, they would need to be enrolled in both.
Okay, yeah, because I'd want them to be able to access, ideally, all the resources there instead of repeating.
Yeah. I would say if there's an overlap, then just, add them to both. That way, if you create the hyperlink and they're already logged in, they'll automatically be able to be there. Would you want that for full-time associate faculties or both? The admin functionality?
That was based on the question that I think Clifford was asking. When it was based on that question. It's irrelevant now. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tamika. Sorry, I'm slow getting to these.
No, that's okay.
So the students can share resources via the discussion, but they cannot remove things from the exactly, Tamika, just like in a regular classroom. Those students have access to things that how you've set the classroom up. So for example, one of the things I do is remove the pages. I instead want them to use modules, just because the pages can be a little bit confusing, where the modules have the information organized. So not that pages link doesn't exist, I just don't want my students using that. They could get there still, potentially, but it makes it, I say students because that's what they're called within the space. We'll be enrolling all associate faculty soon. Awesome, Debbie. Trying to think if there's anything else that specifically, mostly is just, having an idea of what you want to put in there, and then how you want to organize it. So I don't think there's a wrong way to organize. You can organize so that there's all of the discussions, so like things together, all of the discussions for all of the courses are in one space, and that can be a module just called discussions, or you can separate it out and have like things together that are more related to a specific course, whatever makes the most sense. And then if there's more specific things that you guys are concerned about or need help with, I would be happy to, jump on a Zoom call and we can look at it together. Anything else? All right, guys, thank you so much for attending. I'll send out the recording after a little bit later this afternoon. And again, I'm here to help if I can. Thanks, guys.